This is the first seminar I've been to. Read, ask, and it is given. The first thing I want to say about my life is we've solved the boredom problem. There's no longer a shortage of things to do. My question revolves around the relationship between action and manifestation.
There isn't any.
Okay. Then I'm still unclear. I did get that you do not create through action. And yet it seems that action is necessary for receiving. If I do nothing, nothing changes. At least that's the way it seems.
We're not encouraging you that you do nothing. We're encouraging that you align energy. But aligning energy isn't doing nothing. Aligning energy is really doing something. Aligning energy is preparing the vibrational basis for the law of attraction to do what it naturally does. Do not misunderstand. We think action is delicious. And action that is inspired from energy that is in alignment is delicious and intoxicating and life-giving. In other words, there is nothing more wonderful than to have lined up energy and to be out there riding the crest of that wave, doing inspired action that just seems to move things along all the more. In other words, it's like sticking your head out the window just to amplify the sensation of life, you see. When you count on your action to make things happen, and you are not lining up the energy first, then there's not enough action in the world to buck the current. And we see that with people all of the time. They're thinking thoughts that are setting up resistance, and then they're trying to overcome the resistance through action, but then they just get tired. That's what that feeling of overwhelmment is, really. It's trying to get too much leverage out of action. So the best words that we can give is get the leverage out of energy alignment and then do whatever you feel like doing.
Okay, so the distinction is between action in order to try to manifest or correct resistance and inspired action, which is the result of energy alignment.
Yes, but now let's talk about this a little bit, because is it possible that you could offer an action that is hard because you didn't line up your energy, you just did it? Because it's easy to take action. You just grab hold of something and move it around. And you say, there, I accomplished something. And no one can deny it. They see that it moved from over there to over there. So action does account for some things. But let's say that you offered action, but the action came on the heels of energy that was not aligned with what you want. In other words, what you want is over there, what you're talking about is over there, so now you're taking action to try to compensate. So it's hard action, and it doesn't really get you the results that you want. But beating up on yourself for ineffective action is just still forking off in the wrong direction. And so we like to put it to you this way. We tend to make it complicated, and you all, the majority of you who sat in the chair today, really tried to make it complicated. We know that you don't mean to, but oh boy, you can really scramble things around by trying to consider everything all at once instead of just focusing upon one thing and trying to find something that feels a little better. So here you are, always at this juncture where you can choose the best feeling thought that you can find. You are never, ever in a moment that you are not making a choice of going this way or going this way. In other words, there's always the choice of making it feel just a little better or the choice of making it feel just a little worse. In other words, you're always making those choices. So what we are encouraging you to do is, once you've made a decision, because all of you are just doing the best you can to make the decision that you're making from wherever you are, once you've made the decision, then for heaven's sakes, do your best to line up with the decision that you've made. In other words, so what if you've made an action decision that's based upon energy that was not really lined up? Are you better off now beating yourself over the head for making the wrong decision? Or is it the right thing to fork in the direction of now lining up with the decision that you've made, you see? So that's just the rule of thumb that we're offering. Make a decision and then make it right. Make a decision and then make it right. Because really, there just are no wrong decisions. You could go this way or you could go this way. And either way eventually will get you to the place that you want to be. But in the moment that you start complimenting yourself on the decision that you've made, in that moment you come back into vibrational alignment with who you really are.
Okay. Excellent.
That's the closest that we can come to encouraging action first. You are living the residual of the thoughts that you've planted in the past, but the most important thing that we want you to hear is that residual of the thoughts that you've planted in the past is far less dynamic than the thoughts that you are offering right here and now, than the words that you are speaking. So just now, you offered us some very good words, some very clarifying words, some telling words, some words of explanation, some words that were even humorous, but they were not helpful to your future words. Because what you said was, I keep doing the same thing. I'm going along and then I do something that causes a sort of disaster. Where what you're wanting to say is something that feels better. In other words, can you feel the difference between saying, wouldn't it be nice if this is behind us, and what if this is a pattern that we're going to keep repeating? Do those two sentences feel different?
Just a little, and I think...
Yes, but you see, that's the thing. And that's why, because it only feels a little different, because it's not going to manifest you a big pile of money just to make that little difference. In other words, all it is a tipping, and a tipping, and a tipping, and a tipping. So can you feel the difference between saying, the computers went down, and it took us 2 months to get them back up, and by the time they came back up, we'd forgotten what we were using computers for to begin with, and saying, our computers went down, it was a surprise to us, but it was a clarifying process, and that is unlikely to happen again to us.
That is definitely different.
There's a big visceral difference. The computers went down. It was enormously inconvenient. Somebody should have called somebody. This should not have happened. Or every time something like this happens, we get clarifying experiences that causes us to learn more information that puts us in a stronger, more stable place.
Good.
The thing that we think that we have made the point here today, because we've made every effort and taken every opportunity to do it, is that all of your power is right now. And someone might say, well, Abraham, that doesn't feel like very much power. To say, the computers went down and I hated it, and the computers went down and I learned from it. Doesn't sound like such a big deal. What's the big deal? And we say, it's everything. It's the tipping point. It's the forking off. It's the choosing. It's the choice you have. It's where your power is. It's setting you on a path. It's a path that will continue to lead. But the thing that we so much want you to hear is that you can only feel as good as you can bring yourself to feel. And when you discover that you can bring yourself to feel a little better, in time, you will feel such freedom, because your happiness will no longer be dependent upon computers.
Oh, that's true.
And when your happiness is no longer dependent upon computers, they'll work really well for you. Everything works really well for you when you are not depending upon it in some fearful way. You get to choose from right where you are the next step or the next thought or the next vibration. And that vibration that you choose through what you're pondering or commenting on, that vibration will be moving you closer toward what you are wanting or closer toward what you are not wanting. Because everything that you're doing in every moment is moving you. You cannot stand still. People sometimes say, oh, I'm just stuck. And we say that's not possible because things are always in motion. But as you continue to say similar things, even though things are changing, they're changing to the same thing over and over again. You have to begin to make different forking. You have to begin to make different choices. Your emotions follow a very broad range. On one end of the emotional scale are emotions that feel very good to you, emotions that you would describe as appreciation or love or joy, passion, enthusiasm. And on the other end of the emotional scale are emotions that don't feel so good. They feel like despair or fear or feelings of disempowerment, feelings of powerful discouragement. On the end of the scale that feels pretty good to you is your perception of freedom, your perception of your own power. Your perception of your own power, which is who you really are and what Source really knows you to be. On the other end of the emotional scale, where the emotions don't feel so good, is your perception of not freedom And we use the word perception because it really is perceptual. You are so free you can choose bondage if you want to. You truly are free because no one can offer a vibration for you. They can influence your vibration. They can behave in ways that as you observe, you are affected. But ultimately, you are the one who is the keeper of your vibration. And when you understand that, then you can do something about beginning to close the vibrational gap between where you are and where you want to be. As you are closing that vibrational gap, on one end of the scale, you may be frustrated, you may be angry, you may be depressed, you may be in true despair about something, you may have strong fear about something. But if you are in any of those vibrations and someone is encouraging you to cheer up or to follow your bliss or to find something to appreciate, or they tell you that you're the creator of your own reality, you need to cheer up, you've got to want to say that can't be true or you'd be gone, because you... Nothing is more disconcerting than to be in a vibration that feels awful, where the life is being sucked out of you, and have some bright-eyed, bushy-tailed person trying to coax you back into your alignment. Because in the same way that you cannot set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98.7 FM, the frequencies don't match up when you are depressed or when you are discouraged with thoughts or feelings or memories or incidences that match that different frequency that matches appreciation. In other words, when you are depressed, you don't have access to appreciation. You just don't. And what we're wanting you to understand is that while when you're depressed, you don't have access to thoughts of appreciation, when you're depressed, you have access to thoughts of anger. Ah, the life-giving breath of fresh air that revenge brings. And what we want you to hear in terms of what we're talking about here today is that when you reach from your place of desperation or from your place of despair, when you reach for a thought of revenge, from our point of view, you are forking in the right direction. As you fork that far and you find that feeling of revenge, you may not be able to tell from where you are now, because you are far from that feeling of revenge. And the idea of revenge for you feels like going in the wrong direction. But if you've ever been truly depressed and you got mad, didn't you feel the relief that your anger brought you? And the reason you felt relief in anger is because there is less resistance in anger than there is in depression or despair or fear. So, resistance of what? Resistance of your alignment with your true signal. And your true signal is source energy. Your true signal is the pure positive energy that is your source. Your true signal is elation. Your true signal is appreciation. Your true signal is love. Your true signal is worthiness. Your true signal is knowing your value. Your true signal is recognizing the value in others. Your true signal is tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Your true signal is alignment with source. Your true signal is vibrationally standing here in your leading edge place, finding thoughts that allow a pure connection between you and you. And when you allow that pure connection, you thrive. Abundance of all manner that pleases you flows easily to you. You find clarity. You find stability. You find vitality. You find ability to reason. You find solutions to questions and problems before you've even become too utterly aware of the problem. Imagine that. Contrast sends a rocket of desire into your experience, and the desire is answered before the question is ever really fully manifested into your experience. Do you know that if you can get in sync with who you really are, that you can launch the solutions to your problems so quickly on the heels of your identification of your problem that the solution and the problem will manifest in the same moment, and you will not even be aware that there was ever a problem? That's how good you get when you get into sync with who you are. You are vibrational creators. You are leading edge energy beings. You are source energies in physical bodies, and you are extensions of pure positive energy. And the better you feel, the more you are allowing that alignment in any moment, and the worse you feel, the more you are not allowing it. You are the creator of your own experience, and it is playing out exactly as you are offering it vibrationally. So it does not matter where you are, because where you are will bring a solution. In other words, where you are will always evolve into something that is even better than where you are. Because where you are is full of data that causes preferences to be born, and as the preferences are born, source adheres to the preference, and one point of vibrational relativity becomes a fact in your vibrational countenance right now. The only other question is, where are you in relationship with that?